Hi everybody, thanks for joining us here for Northern Ag TV. I'm Colter Brown. Well, a second case of New World screwworm has been found in Mexico, this one just north of the one found in November that caused the U.S. to close itself to imports of Mexican feeder cattle for 2 months. Now in this case, the USDA is not going to close the border to Mexican cattle since the U.S. and Mexico have implemented protocols to inspect and treat cattle before they cross the border. They say that these new methods will protect the U.S. livestock industry, although the movement of cattle into the U.S. from Mexico will be slower. Well, the Treasury Department's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, is once again going to be enforcing the beneficial ownership information reporting requirements under the Corporate Transparency Act. Now, they've got a new deadline set for that. It's going to be March 21st, and 32 million small businesses could be required to report. However, before we get too far ahead of ourselves with the changeover in administrations, the Treasury Department says that they're likely to take a look at those deadlines and potentially modify them, as well as initiate a process to revise the beneficial ownership information reporting rule to reduce the burden for many small businesses. Well, unfortunately, Brucellosis has been discovered in Wyoming's Park and Sublette counties inside the designated surveillance area. The two herds will be placed under quarantine. The cases were found under routine testing requirements that are in place. Now, of course, identification of Brucellosis positive cattle is not uncommon within Wyoming's DSA, where there's a Brucellosis reservoir in wildlife that does sometimes spill over to cattle. Dr. Tekla Webb, Assistant State Veterinarian in Wyoming, acknowledges the difficult situation faced by herd owners, but points out that because of the tireless attention to brucellosis mitigation and testing by both producers and veterinarians, the state of Wyoming is able to maintain its brucellosis-free status. And for ranchers in western Montana, if you get the chance tonight, join me in Deer Lodge, where I'll be joining Ben Meyer with Diamond D Insurance for a presentation on the outlook for the cattle markets. Now, the event starts at 7 p.m. there at the Elks Hall in Deer Lodge. We'll talk about some of the current trends we're seeing in the industry, and Ben will cover some of the risk management options with pasture, rangeland, and forage insurance and livestock risk protection. Should be a pretty fun evening. Stick with us. We're going to be back for our livestock markets after this.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, cattle futures started the new week out with quite a bit of optimism. We saw some big gains in the feeder contracts. It was really only a slightly bullish report from USDA on Friday with that cattle on feed figures. Now in that report, placements were below expectations. Wasn't any sort of big shocker, but we did see lower placements. Marketings were also underneath what was expected, so that resulted in total inventory coming in just 1% below last year. Now, cash-fed cattle trade was down $4 to $5 last week. Most of the live sales from $198 to $201, and the dress trade coming in right around $315. Good demand and higher prices on the bred cows in Torrington. Bred heifers sold $2,900 to $3,175. Young cows $31 1/4 to $34.60. Short-term cows $25.50 to $2,700. Lots of bull sales happening right now at Montana Livestock Auction. Never Sweat Ranch had 34 Angus bulls averaging $54.77, and in Buffalo, Kretschmann Angus averaged $77.68 on 55 bulls. And a very disappointing start to the week for the grain futures, where double-digit losses brought nearby winter wheat below $6 again. Now, we did see a sharp rally on the concerns with the extreme cold and winter kill, and it'll be a while before we can really assess that damage, but with the warmer weather, the market is selling again. Russian wheat prices do continue to rise, but as of yet, that has not lent a lot of help to U.S. wheat prices. Well, that's going to do it for this morning's report. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.